The story begins in Antarctica, where a rescue team is searching through the forest around the surrounding area of the asylum. They are in search of one of their missing members, and after a while they find a survivor who seems to be asleep in the forest. They carefully approach the survivor, but soon they realize that he has been infected by the Randolph syndrome. This condition causes the person to turn into a deadly monster, and that is exactly what happens with the survivor. The survivor loses control and in his monster form attacks the team. Elsewhere in Australia, we are introduced to the research city Southern Cross, a special organization in charge of special agents called sleepers. There, Daniel Kai has applied to become a sleeper, and his wish is to someday become a hero and save people. Daniel manages to get into the program and is sent to the Arctic Front base that is located at the asylum. There, he meets Commander Kruger, Chief Salvi, and Commander Vera Rustamova. All of them decide to approve Daniel's application, and he is officially assigned to be part of Platoon 11. The team is composed of several sleepers, all of them with different skills. Daniel gets to know his fellow comrades Sumair, Rieka, and Larry. The squad are assigned their first mission, and they are joined by a sleeper called Leslie Blunk. The team is being monitored and assisted from the back of the base by the sanity anchor Sumair Modiki. After a while, Sumair notices that there has been a magnetic field anomaly, and then suddenly a Skard shows up. Skard are a type of giant animal that is similar to those that live in the normal world, but these animals have been mutated by a mysterious substance in the asylum. The sleepers all prepare and attack the animal with their advanced weaponry, but Daniel freezes up. This is his first time on the field and he got scared. Later on, the team is called to assist another team that is being attacked. When they arrive, they realize that the monster attacking the team is its former member. At that moment, Daniel finds his courage, and together with Leslie they manage to kill the monster. The sleeper Platoon 11 are still out on patrol, and suddenly they are attacked by another scarred beast. This beast comes from below the sand. From back in the base, Sumair manages to calculate from where the monster will jump next. With this information, Daniel knows where to shoot, but his skill with the rifle aren't that good and he misses most of his shots. Sumair gets really angry at how messy Daniel is on the field. This scares Daniel even more, and he starts to doubt if he even has what it takes to be a sleeper. When the team returns to the base, they start cleaning their gear. It is then that Daniel finds out that Sumair was an idol, but she hates talking about it. Daniel realizes that talking about the past makes Sumair uncomfortable, so he apologizes. He also apologizes for his performance in the squad and promises to improve. Later, Platoon 11 is tasked with once more hunting the monstrous Skard. This time the team plans a better strategy where Larry acts as the bait to draw out the monster. This plan actually works and the team manages to destroy the monster. When the operation ends, Daniel and Sumair once again talk. She confesses that she failed to qualify to be a sleeper, so now she can only work as the sanity anchor for the team. This is something she is ashamed of. Later in the day, Daniel is called into a meeting with Commander Vera. She offers Daniel a special assassination mission. While most people think the Randolph syndrome is very dangerous and has the potential to end humanity, some leaders think it can be used to improve humanity. Meanwhile, Daniel and Larry decide to go on a trip to town. They have some time off from their mission, so they decide to explore a bit. When they arrive in the town, they see a young dealer being beaten by several thugs. They decide to get involved and they manage to beat the thugs and save the young guy. The dealer then asks them if they could maybe collect the special seeds from the Vistapaza tree which grows in the asylum. Daniel doesn't think this is a good idea, but Larry convinces him. The two make their way to the tree and they soon reach an asylum area that seems serene and looks like an oasis. Larry and Daniel talk and Larry expresses his desire to explore the asylum and learn more about its nature. He is even interested in finding out everything that he can about the Randolph syndrome. Suddenly, Daniel and Larry are attacked by a Skard that flies. It seems that the Skard is hunting a girl that has been in exile for some time. This girl, called Elsie, is scared and Daniel protects her by acting as a decoy. The monstrous Skard goes after Daniel and corns both him and Larry. The small girl manages to escape. Larry and Daniel are trapped, but just before the Skard kills them, Platoon 11 and Leslie arrive. They come just in time and manage to successfully rescue Daniel and Larry. The team returns back to base where Larry and Daniel are shamed for going out of base and into dangerous territory. Daniel feels guilty about the entire experience and he decides that he will take the assassination mission. He goes to Commander Vera and it is revealed that his target is Elsie, the exile girl he just saved. Sleeper Platoon 11 is on their way to a new mission at the asylum. Their mission gets interrupted when they encounter an exile. Leslie fights off the attacker with precise and fast sword skills. The battle is won, but Leslie is angry at the rest of the squad for not helping out more. As they move forward with their mission, the squad members start wondering about Leslie's past. After their return back to base, they even manage to find old photos of Vera and Leslie. Daniel meets up with Leslie and the two of them plan to go have a drink together. Their plans are ruined when Daniel is attacked by 3 different cultist exiles. Leslie tries to save Daniel but an old partner appears. An associate from the past called Hayden confronts Leslie. Daniel tries to escape the situation but is then attacked by Nadia, a young crazy girl with 2 ferocious animals. Somehow Daniel manages to avoid being injured and escapes. He later returns to help Leslie and finds that they have been shot and injured. Hayden also tells them that he knows about Daniel's secret mission to assassinate Elsie. Hayden will not allow that to happen as he needs to capture the girl alive for his own plans. A crazy cultist attacks Sleeper Platoon 11 once again. Before the team is even able to fire a shot at the cultist, Daniel already shoots and destroys it. He has become much better with his aim and he is also more calm during combat. Hayden retreats and goes to his master to tell him the news. Hayden is badly beaten as he has failed to capture Daniel and was also holding back against Leslie, who was his lover in the past. His superior then orders Hayden to find and capture LC by any means necessary, and that another failure will cost him his life. Elsewhere, members of Platoon 11 enjoy their free time and a new member joins the team, an elegant young girl called Rieka Kobato. The team runs into a problem when Rieka and Daniel don't seem to work together. The squad decides to organize a fun lunch and send Daniel and Rieka to go shopping together. They think this could be a good way for the two of them to connect more. While going to get food, Rieka and Daniel are attacked by Nadia and her wild animals. They are also attacked by a humanoid Scarred. At first, both Daniel and Rieka don't know how to work together and their enemies start to dominate them. They then decide to join forces and with their teamwork they manage to kill the monsters. Later on, the two connect even more when they discover that both of them love anime. Nicholas Kruger and Vera have a meeting, and there, the mission to kill LC is officially approved and begins preparations. Platoon 11 starts to prepare for the mission, but it is only Daniel and Leslie who know the true goal of the mission. The rest of the squad don't know the true target. In the land of the exiles, LC is celebrated as a child of God. There are many exiles there to join in the celebration. Before the mission fully begins, Vera and Leslie talk and Vera gives Leslie a silver necklace and a special ring for good luck. Platoon 11 led by Leslie moves closer to the exile village. The plan is to make LC approach a window and then Daniel will shoot her from a distance. This is their secret plan that they are coordinating with secret notes. Rieka, Larry and Leslie dress up as servants and they begin the infiltration process into the exile village. The plan fails and Hayden realizes that they are pretending to be servants. Hayden defeats Larry and then attacks Leslie. Vera is informed that the mission is starting to crumble but she doesn't allow for the team to retreat. Rieka's cover still intact allows her to make her way to LC, and she manages to lure her by a window. Daniel prepares his shot, but doesn't fire as he feels guilty. Instead, he manages to find Hayden and Leslie fighting, so he fires a shot at Hayden's arm. With this, Leslie is saved, but the mission has failed. Platoon 11 begins their retreat back to the base, but a giant spider robot follows them. Leslie tries to get the spider to stop chasing after the team. At the end, Leslie manages to destroy the spider and uses his flying machine to try to escape. Unfortunately, Hayden catches up to the group and using a sniper, he fires at the flying machine. This causes Leslie to fall into the deep darkness below. After the incident, the squad manages to find Leslie's body and they all return to the base where they organize a proper funeral for Leslie. When Vera is informed of Leslie's death, she doesn't seem that concerned. Her only priority is to get back to the original mission. Daniel offers to unpack and sort out Leslie's personal belongings and Vera confronts him saying that the mission comes first. Daniel tries to find the necklace that Vera gave to Leslie but is unable to find it. Later, Platoon 11 is led by Vera herself and they make their way back to the exile village. Meanwhile, Hayden goes back into the exile mansion and takes several hostages as a way to capture LC. His plan fails as LC is long gone. She was taken away to safety by Master Karatka. Platoon 11 finally arrives at the mansion in the village and they find it totally empty. Vera manages to find the ring she gave to Leslie. Later they meet with the villagers who have managed to escape but now are being attacked by monstrous Scarred. The squad starts firing at the monsters to save the villagers, but Vera uses her deadly scythe weapon. She manages to take down numerous monsters on her own. After the battle, the village chief Jurio gives Vera a crystal that has a special ring that was meant for LC. Vera promises to give LC the ring when they find her. After the platoon returns back to base, Daniel and Vera talk again. This time Daniel says that he is fully on board with the plan to assassinate LC. After the second failure to assassinate LC, the Antarctic Front Steering Committee summons Vera and she is warned that future failure will not be tolerated. This whole plan is important to the survival of the organization and it falls on Vera to get things done. Elsewhere, Ron Blake and his team split up so that they can better protect LC and hide her from Hayden and his beasts. Daniel is met by Leslie's friend Waitress and she gives him a note with several numbers. Daniel later checks Leslie's photos and enters enters the numbers from that note. This unlocks a photo from a previous Platoon 11 mission. The location is unknown, so Daniel keeps investigating. Platoon 11 once again enters the abyss, and Vera leads Daniel to a specific spot from where he will take the shot. When Daniel reaches the sniper position, he realizes that this is the same location from that secret photo Leslie had. There he also finds the silver necklace from Vera as well as Leslie's notebook. The content of the notebook is intended for a potential successor to Leslie, Hayden. Platoon 11 and the cultist exiles start fighting each other, but then are also attacked by monstrous Scarred. All the groups and monsters go to battle with each other, but no one achieves their goals. Elsie is protected by the Iceman, and it is revealed that he knows about Vera's powers to turn back time. Once again, because of her failures, Vera is called in front of the steering committee, and there she is issued her last warning. Later, Vera starts thinking about the situation. She realizes that the Iceman somehow knows about her powers, and she is hesitant to count on Daniel to take the shot as he isn't the best shot and he is very inexperienced. Vera is informed that Daniel has requested a meeting with her. She immediately suspects that Daniel probably wants to give up and withdraw from the assassination mission. Daniel comes to Vera and shocks her with an invitation to join the other squad members for a BBQ meal. Vera doesn't have time to think, so she just accepts the invitation. Vera really doesn't want to go, but the squad members shift her schedule so that she has no excuse for skipping the event. On his way to get food, Daniel stops by the asylum where he reads more of Leslie's notes. He returns to dinner just in time, and Vera joins the squad. The event goes well and everyone has a good time, even Vera. The good mood is ruined when Vera personally informs Daniel that he is no longer the member of Platoon 11. Daniel wakes up from a strange dream. He gets out of bed and notices his suitcase that is all packed and ready. He is then summoned by the steering committee, and they tell him he has been removed from his position in Platoon 11 because of his illegal trips to the asylum. Later in the day, Daniel joins his team for a farewell drink before he leaves the base. Daniel gets upset when his team members want to know the details about him getting kicked out of the base. He leaves to get some fresh air, and it is then when he sees one of Vera's associates dying from a gunshot. Daniel is informed that Vera has been set up as the next owner of the Eruker ring. Nadia and Hayden manage to find Vera and take the ring from her. Hayden even wounds Vera, and it is revealed that he knows that Vera has changed the timeline several times. She changed time, but each time this resulted in Leslie dying in battle. Suddenly, Daniel shows up and disarms Hayden. Hayden sets off numerous explosions and escapes with the stolen ring. Vera gives Daniel the crystal Akira from the village. The crystal has a special power. Vera has managed to trick Hayden into thinking that the true power lies in the ring. Daniel prepares to leave the base and travel to Argentina, but he returns one last time to see that Vera and his squad have already left for the asylum. He goes after them and manages to locate them in a church. When Daniel enters the church, he is shocked to find all of his teammates have been killed. At that moment, he wakes up again alone in his room with his suitcase packed. After the shock, Daniel realizes that he is reliving the same day once again. He goes out of his room and tries to change the events so that his platoon doesn't get killed. As before, they go for farewell drinks, but he changes his actions during the meeting with Vera's agent. He then travels to the asylum, and there he finds Hayden and Iceman. He witnesses Reika and Larry fail to kill Elsie, which in turn makes Elsie transform into a giant Scarred that kills everyone. Daniel figures out that the Akira crystal that Vera gave him has special powers that allow him to repeat certain recent events. Daniel then figures out that Vera's obsession over killing Elsie is literally her attempting to kill her younger self and stop the apocalypse. Daniel experiences the total destruction of the Antarctic and the base being totally annihilated. He then once again wakes up in his room. Vera must have experienced these events so many times, and she is desperate to stop this cycle from starting over again. Daniel starts the day from the beginning, and this time he decides to do things differently. He finds his teammates and he tells him all about the Akira crystal and its powers. Together they all join forces and attack Nadia and Hayden. In the battle, Hayden decides to throw himself off a giant building. Daniel then finds Vera and confronts her about everything. He figured out that she is indeed a grown-up version of Elsie, and that this whole time her goal was just to prevent anyone from gaining this dangerous power. Platoon 11 then goes after Iceman to stop him from merging with Elsie, and Vera also joins to help them. Iceman starts the process, but something goes wrong and he turns into a monstrous beast with tentacles. He then grabs Vera to prevent her from dying so that she can repeat the events. Daniel decides to break the crystal by any means necessary, so in a heroic effort he jumps at the beast and stabs it with the Akira crystal right in its chest. The crystal is destroyed, but unfortunately the beast stabs Daniel several times, killing him in the process. Elsie is released and Daniel fades away, his essence being transported into the crystal. Vera believes that he is not truly gone and one day he will return. And this brings the anime to an end. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on another video. Until next time, take care.